Smile Makers is a company not familiar to many, but its purpose is in its name. The company recently introduced to the Malaysian market its range of colourful female intimate massages together with pharmacy giant Watson. As the idea of loving oneself actually becomes more acceptable these days, we still ask its co-founder Peter Wickstrom, why this market and why this business? We are talking this morning to Mr. Peter Wickstrom from Smile Makers. Good morning, and thanks a lot for joining us all the way from your place is based in Singapore, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. So Smile Makers, I suppose you guys had your launch a few days ago, and in Malaysia, and you do, let's put it very delicately, female intimate massages. And I need to ask, given everything we know, why did you choose Malaysia as a market, given particular sensitivities, let's say?
Oh, it's a very good question. There are a couple of reasons. One, because it's a big market, and few people know this, but over 30% of Malaysian women have experience of using a personal massager. And on top of that, of the non-users, over 50% say that they're interested in trying one. Secondly, there's a big need. So 8 out of 10 women say that they've experienced pain during sex.
Okay.
And products such as our personal lubricants can help alleviate that and help people live better lives.
Okay, so I think what was more interesting for me is that you chose to do it in Watson's. You know, Watson's is, everybody knows the brand. Why did you choose Watson's as a partner for your products?
Yeah, so we've got a long-standing relationship with Watson's, and we've launched Smile Makers previously in Singapore, Taiwan, Hong Kong. We're about to launch in Thailand, all with Watson's. And the reason we want to work with somebody like Watson's is because exactly of the reasons that you point out. Smile Makers as a brand, we want to be sold in everyday shopping environments where everyday women feel comfortable shopping, and to us, Watson's is an ideal partner. Okay,
so how did the relationship originally in Singapore come about? And when you wanted to launch it in the Watson's here, did you get some funny looks?
So we originally launched with Watson's in Taiwan and then expanded to Singapore. And it's been on the back of successful launches in each market that the new markets have opened up.
Okay.
And with regards to the funny looks, we get a bit of skepticism everywhere we come.
All right.
People assume that their markets are very conservative, which was the case here in Malaysia, but it's been the case in other markets as well. But what the numbers show when we do research is that consumers are not as conservative as people like to think they are.
Okay, so do you think there'll be is there an age gate for buying your stuff? I mean, you know, people can't buy cigarettes if you're under 16, but let's say you go into Watson's, which is available to everybody, by the way. Will there be an age gate? Like, if you wanted to purchase it, will they ask your age?
So we target women 22 plus.
Okay.
And we have no intention of marketing our products to people younger than that.
Okay.
And we don't do that in any market.
Okay. So the Vibrator Market is actually worth, and this actually staggered me, $15 billion in 2014. They think, I think you've seen that figure bandied about quite a bit. They think it might be 50 billion by 2020. In the States, similar to you, Walmart and everything are actually marketing these personal massages. Do you think this means the people are more open to the subject, although you said that sometimes they are conservative?
I think in general, consumers are very open to personal massagers.
Yeah.
And taking your figures as an example, if in 2020 there'll be roughly 7.6 billion people in the world, half of those are women.
Yeah.
That would mean that on average, women would spend $13 per year on personal massagers. And that's an average figure. I think clearly that shows that this is something that consumers are open to.
Okay, but let's talk about Asia market in particular. That 15 billion is globally, and probably places like the States and Europe are very, very open about it. When you've done your research, how much is the market for personal massages in Asia worth, roughly, having done your research?
It's difficult to say because even the global figures vary quite a bit.
Yes.
But what we can say is, so if we take Malaysia as an example, before we launched, as I said earlier, over 30% had used personal massagers.
All right.
And that figure, comparing it to Western Europe, is, for instance, it's higher than Belgium.
Okay, so things like Sex and the City, where most people heard of a rabbit vibrator for the first time, and 50 Shades of Grey. When you looked at how people are more open about this, is that why you and your partner decided to go into this business?
So my business partner, Matthias Hulting, and I, we used to work together at Procter & Gamble a long time ago.
Okay.
And we decided to set up our own company, and to focus on female sexual well-being is actually based on a personal experience that I had a long time ago.
Yes.
When I walked into a sex shop with the intention of buying a personal massager for my girlfriend at the time, and I found the whole experience to be really bad. The products that were on display were vulgar. I didn't feel comfortable in that environment, and I imagined that my girlfriend wouldn't have felt comfortable either. So when we started Ramblin' Brands, this idea came back to me.
We talked about the markets and that experience that you had, so that sparked your need to go into this. But the thing is, there's no real competition. Unlike, like, say, Victoria's Secret, there is no one brand that makes these. Is that why you decided to go in with you and your partner, Matthias?
Yeah, that's absolutely part of it. That on the sort of the business side of it, we saw that there's a big potential in mainstream retailers, which is where we focus. We don't sell our products in any adult retailers, whether it's in physical stores or online. So in mainstream retailers, there is no household brand name when it comes to personal massagers, and that's what we've set out to become.
So your designs, names, all really colorful, really cute. Was that a choice to go into that after your experience, of course, going into the sex shop and having it very, very scary? Is that why you think this will break that whole thing? Never mind the fact that you're not selling it in a sex shop anyway.
Yeah, so the concept behind Smile Makers is very purposefully developed with the intention of working in mainstream health and beauty outlets similar to Watson's.
Yeah.
So what we found was the biggest trial barrier was the embarrassment to purchase.
Yes.
And we're overcoming that by introducing an element of humor, by having products named The Millionaire, The Fireman.
Expansion plans. You're already in Watson's. It's only in 100, by the way, I noticed. What are your plans for something like Malaysia and maybe its neighbors?
So the expansion of Smile Makers has gone very rapidly.
Yeah.
About 2 years ago, we were in 15 stores globally, and we're now in over 4,000 stores in 11 markets. And going forward, we plan to expand, if not as rapidly, but very rapidly. So as long as there are relevant retailers and demand from consumers, we'll keep on expanding.
Beauty from the inside and good business sense are some of the things that seem to drive Smile Makers. Is it good enough to make people open their wallets and open their minds? Only time will tell.